Hey everyone, it is a beautiful evening here in the garden and we thought it was a perfect time to share an update with you on our planter box.
So we have this 25-foot long planter box along our deck that we built ourselves a couple of years ago, and every year we fill it up with beautiful annuals, and today we are going to show you an almost exact to the day 2-month update. So we planted this on April 15th. And it is now at its peak. We are just at the point here in North Carolina where we're starting to get really hot, which the annuals love, but it's not so hot that they're languishing. So we thought we'd give you an update while it is in its prime.
I'm gonna jump behind the camera and let Tyler walk you through.
Okay, so just so everyone remembers where we started, we planted this in April with, of course, those very small annual containers that we all buy. And 2 months later, here we are. I mean, just stunning. And it is filled up with color and texture. And we really had a different approach to the planter box this year. Typically, we go for a lot of color and a lot of blooms. But Brian actually had the idea of what if we tried to focus a little bit more on foliage texture and color, and then maybe have 1 or 2 things that provide some color. And I will have to admit, I was a little hesitant at first. Brian is always the one that has the creative ideas and I have to get on board. But I'm really, really glad that he pushed us to do this because it just looks so good. Now I'm going to walk through every single plant and I'll let you know the ones that did not survive or are not showing right now. And then of course we'll talk about the ones that are blooming beautifully. And I have to start with the Superbena amethyst. Now this is obviously our really bright pop of color that we have in here. You really get that nice purple, white, and lilac in between. And this has been in bloom all season long. I mean, it has just been prolific and it just keeps rising up and up and up. There's no deadheading required. We just put it in and it is really going for it. So we have that. The other plant that we had in here with purple blooms was Violet Night Alyssum. And I have one over here that is barely making its way through. And then I think we popped 2 in along each little section here in the planter box. And you know, I think this is probably the only plant I would swap out because it just is not keeping up with the vigor of everything else. I probably would swap this out with maybe Supertunia Mini Vista Indigo, so we still get that purple base, but everything else in here is looking amazing. We have the Helichrysum licorice plant here. Now this is a new plant for us here in the garden. We have not planted this here before, and it is a little bit more wild than we were anticipating. And at first when it started to reach out, we thought, I don't know if we're gonna like this, but we just kind of let it go and do its thing. And I really think it adds some whimsy in the planter box that we haven't had before. Along with that, we have a potato vine called Mahogany, and it has some of the biggest leaves I have ever seen on a potato vine before. And obviously this is giving us some really, really nice contrast. Most of the plants in here are minty green or just kind of like a flat green, and so I wanted to make sure that we have this dark potato vine in here to add some contrast. And as you're looking down the way here, it really, really pops. And over the season, as this continues to grow, it will go all the way down to the ground, I'm sure, if we let it. Inside of each section here that you probably can't see, we have 2 foxtail ferns, which were really not necessary at this point. They were beautiful when we first planted them, but they have just been covered up with everything else because it is just so vigorous. We've also got 2 diamond frost euphorbias, and they're just kind of like a little airy background. You can see one sticking up here. There is one down at the end that is really, really tall, and I love the way that one looks. I wish they were all that big. So maybe we should have done Diamond Mountain, which is a little bit more of a vigorous plant. And then here as our centerpiece in this section, we have Stratosphere White Gara. Now, we both love Gara in the garden. We love how it dances in the wind. The bees love it. We've had hummingbirds come right up to the deck. The other day, we were sitting on the sofa here having our coffee, and a hummingbird just flew up and was enjoying the nectar, which was so awesome. My only issue with the Gara, we planted it in the center, which is here, of course, but it's leaning this way trying to get more sun. I do love the upright habit of it though, So that's just something for us to consider in the future. This spot gets a lot of morning sun, and then during the day it's kind of protected from this tree above me here, but everything else is doing really well. Now if we pop over here, in our center two sections, we have a little bit of a different centerpiece here. So if you'll remember, we had two small obelisks that we got from terrain that we popped in the center here, and we planted two tricolor potato vines on either side of that obelisk. And our goal was to train those up inside of the obelisk and then just kind of let them cascade down. And they are doing exactly that. It is beautiful. This is probably my favorite potato vine ever. I just love the tricolor leaf, and it has these really kind of sharp edges to it, which is different from the mahogany potato vine. The mahogany potato vine is more of that sweetheart leaf, and then with the tricolor you get that jagged leaf, which is also really, really cool contrast. So now that we've made it all the way up to the top with this obelisk, we're just going to kind of let them trail down and kind of do their thing. Maybe we will trim on them as the season goes on. Maybe we will leave them as is. I don't know. We'll see over time. We'll see how big they get. Now you will notice here, especially on the potato vine, you can see it. We've got some holes, and typically that is a sign of either earwigs or slug damage. And so we like to use Sluggo Plus in our garden because it treats for the slugs, it treats for the earwigs, and it treats for roly-polies, which is, we have all three of those in this garden, and so I need to come along and do that. But everything is just looking so, so beautiful in here. I love the way the verbena is just adding a little bit of color to the space, and I'm obsessed with it. I didn't think I was gonna like it this much. Even like a couple of weeks ago, we were still kind of like, I don't know. But having the gardenias in here too just adds a really dark, glossy green leaf base, and it really kind of sets off everything that's planted in between them. I love it. Now on this side, I don't know if you were able to see earlier, but along the bottom of the planter box we have Indigo Frost Agapanthus, and it kind of gives us almost the same colorway as the verbena. So this is an Agapanthus that is actually hardy to zone 7. And so you guys know in Charlotte we're on the line of zone 7B, 8A. And so Agapanthus is something that doesn't always work for us, but this one is doing a really, really great job. I think there are 12 planted in here, and we've only got these 3 here are not blooming. But the rest of them have buds all over them if they aren't blooming already. And I think they just add the perfect little pop right here, and it pairs so well with the planter box. I love that we planned it out that way this year. And I love that they kind of meet the edge of the planter box because it kind of makes everything go in one collection here, which is really, really nice. Now, we also planted this in our Jensen urn up in the peninsula, and we've had different results up there. So why don't we walk up to the urn and take a look. So here in the peninsula, we have our Jensen urn, and it is filled up with nearly the same exact recipe as our planter box. The only thing that we eliminated here were the potato vines. And as much as I wanted to put that purple potato vine here, it would have just been a disaster, and we would have been even in a worse state than we're in right now. So let's talk a little bit about the plants. So in here we've got 1 Gara in the middle, and then everything else we planted 2. So we've got 2 foxtail ferns, 2 licorice plants, 2 diamond frost euphorbias, 2 superbenas, and 2 alyssum that have unfortunately died. So one, I think that we planted this way too heavily. We were very ambitious. We probably could have gotten away with 1 of everything and we'd be in a better state. The second issue is our irrigation. So the urn is attached to our drip irrigation for this drip zone here in the peninsula. And if you've been watching our Parterre series, you probably know that we've been having quite a lot of irrigation issues with construction. We went for 4 or 5 days with no irrigation at all, and then everything was connected back, and we thought that we were in a good state. We had hand watered throughout, everything was doing okay. And then little did we know that this drip zone particularly had not been running for days after everything else had been connected. So this urn probably went for 3 or 4 days with no water before we realized. Unfortunately, I think the way that we packed everything in is probably already kind of root bound, and so then the drip irrigation not running just kind of sent us to the bad place. But the Superbena still looks really, really beautiful, which I'm kind of surprised about. Superbena can tend to be one of those plants where if they're not getting consistent water, they can start to languish on you. But that still looks really good. We've at least got some color in here, and the licorice plant is clearly doing good. It's curving around the bottom here. It's probably going to grow to the ground by the end of the season. And so I think if I was going to do this again in this container, I would pare it down, plant less plants, not be so ambitious, but it is still a really nice spot here in the garden. We're just perfectionists here. We want everything to be beautiful, but you know what? Sometimes there are lessons learned in the garden, and next year will be better and we won't overplant this. But hopefully this inspired you to try this mix next year in your garden and maybe lean a little bit more foliage heavy and not rely so much on blooms. I think there's a lot of beauty that you can find in other plants that aren't blooming even, and you can intersperse that in with other things that are blooming to make for a really beautiful mix in your garden. All right, Brian, tell us how you think your design plan worked out this year.
I think it's beautiful. I mean, I think that there are some things that have surprised us, like the licorice plant going a little bit more crazy than we had imagined. I also thought the foxtail ferns would give us a little bit more of a show, but I mean, we still have a few months left of the season, so everything in here could surprise us, and the foxtail ferns could shoot right up, but I think it's really, really beautiful and obviously different than what we normally do, but I think experimenting is really the best part about gardening.
That's what it kind of feels like with everything we're doing lately. It just feels like an experiment and kind of pushing the boundaries of what we would normally do.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm having a lot of fun with that because it's so easy to get stuck in a rut of like, well, all right, we're going to do 10 supertunias in here and they're going to take over and it's going to be beautiful. But I'm liking the idea of what if we shifted that a little bit and maybe planted a couple of the things we normally would plant and then add in new things.
Yes, it makes me so excited for seasons to come, just knowing that there's always going to be something different. We're always going to have fun with it. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little tour of our planter box and our urn. Be sure that you subscribe to our channel so that you can continue getting all of our gardening content all season long.
For now, from our garden to yours, we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys.